Welcome, this is Rooflemonger, and my friends, today we're talking about Giganter Kai, aka the Aegis shield for Potemkin. And now after Season 2 and its changes, I do believe it's the single best super move in all of Guilty Gear Strive. So, on its base level, like the utility, raw, is still the same, right? It gives you space to breathe, space to think, it's still fine there. And yes, it did suffer a nerf in that it is no longer strike invincible, so you can knock them out of it on startup. But, you know, there's ways around that. You can get your invincibility. Check the visual guide I linked at the end of the video. You'll find out in the Potemkin section how to get other ways to do invincible stuff, right? That's fine. But here's the thing. The big change, if you're unaware, is no matter what, the shield always comes out now. So before, shield would only come out if you're far away. And if you're close, you get that initial hit, it'd fling them back, that was it. Now the shield always comes out. And this revolutionizes all of his combos basically across the board, right? In situations where he would get good damage, he'll get even more damage. And situations where he would not get much, now he can get the world. So let's talk about it. And on top of that too, there's also some really fun tricks which we'll also get into. So to start off with, I'm not going to give you some magical Christmas land scenario you only get once every 100 matches or anything. I'm going to give you the most basic, happens all the time. Close slash, right? So close slash and you get it. Usually you're doing one of two things. You're either just going into the Gatling, so close slash, crouch slash, stand heavy slash, right? Or if you're close enough on most characters, you might go into crouch heavy slash instead, right? And you get your Mega Fist, you bounce them, hammerfall cancel, you do your pressure. Now, how about instead of that, we go into Giganter Kai? So right here, this is what we're doing. Just do after crouch slash, right? Okay. That's well enough, so what can we do from that? You can already tell the damage is already decent enough too, right? Before we add anything. Now, here's the thing. Forward heavy slash. Great. Command normal, does a lot of damage. But the thing is, it flings people away, like, okay, you know, oh, I'm going to make a fist after. Oh, you're across the screen, that's not going to hit. But, when you do it after the scenario here, the shield holds them in place, so you can keep doing stuff. Also, look at that damage. We haven't even begun yet. Look at that damage. So now knowing that, we can have a little bit of fun. We can take one of two routes from here. Either we can go just for a setup, or we can go for corner carry. So if we go just for the setup here, after that we do Mega Fist. And as you see there, they're still bouncing in the air, because even though we hit them several times after the fact, the Aegis is still taking over, and they're still airborne. So now, knowing that, we'll do that combo, crouch slash, Mega Fist, and then you go for the usual hammerfall cancel setup. Something like that, right? So we're in the position, guess pile driver, guess, you know, Garuda or whatever, or anything else you can think of. And look at that damage, right? So we got all that damage, and we got the setup. Now, same scenario. We don't want the setup anymore. We're just going for raw damage mid-screen. So there you go, right? That's easy enough. And there was really no specific timing other than just try to do things as fast as you possibly could. So, yeah, it's pretty all right. Pretty all right. Basic scenario, there's no counter hits, no weird angles, just damage. Either you can break the wall from mid-screen, a little further back you couldn't, but you know, that's how that game works. Or you can just do the usual Potemkin stuff, get your setup, and still deal like 70% on top of it. So yeah, the damage potential is through the roof. And scenarios say where you're using like, you know, crouch heavy slash launch instead. You still get a bunch. Just use crouch heavy slash and then Mega Fist to leapfrog, and then you can get a bunch of different combos as well, and also the damage. So there you go, that's like what, 80%-ish, 75%? That technique did use the Kara Mega Fist for the last bit, so it's a little bit trickier, but still, as you can see, the damage is obviously there. So that part's no longer a question. This gives you the damage, and if it was only the damage, that'd still be just plenty fine, right? But it also lets you convert in situations you can't normally convert from. You can get big combos when in other situations you get nothing. So let me give you a good example here just how powerful this is. Let's take Potemkin, stand, heavy slash. Really good poke, right? And don't lie to me, because you know you've been counter hit by this thing more than a few times. How could you not? It's huge. It's pretty fast for what it is. Controls a giant part of the screen. How could you not get counter hit by it, right? But if you get counter hit by it, there's really only ever been two options. Either you follow through with the hammerfall and you get alright damage, or you say, screw it, okay, I know slide head is guaranteed, and I slide in and go get my pressure on my Oki, right? And those are both plenty fine. They're both plenty valid. But how about instead of those two, I just kill you instead? Oh, how'd that happen? Wait, what? How am I sliding across the screen and doing this? Well, let me tell you. So what you're witnessing here is the hammerfall, right? I'm hammerfalling, then canceling the hammerfall, then canceling the hammerfall cancel into Giganter Kai. Now, the technique's a little tricky in that you don't know how to do it unless you're told how to do it, so I'm going to tell you how to do it. So what you want to do is just the regular hammerfall, charge back, forward, heavy slash, right? And then, when you're doing it, before you hit the enemy, do the motion for Giganter Kai, so half circle back, forward, heavy slash, and then immediately hit punch. So what's happening here is you're doing the hammerfall, you correctly entered the motion for the super, it's now in the buffer, and then you hit punch, which does the cancel, and then now that you cancel it, you're canceling the cancel into the super, which was in the buffer. I know that's a lot of jargon, but that's how that works. So this means any poke counter hit now turns into super into full combo. So once again here, if you get poked, you're dead. It's really kind of simple as that, really. Here you just took 70% of your life, and it's into the usual pressure Oki situation. Guess Garuda, guess, pile driver, like guess whatevs, right? It's all there in your face. And this is that's not just heavy slash. If you poke with, say, crouch slash instead or something, right? It's going to be the same deal. Or stand slash as well. It really doesn't matter, just any poke. You see the time stop, and then just input the commands. There you go. So any single poke, as long as you got 50% meter now, is potentially like a game over scenario. And it's not just grounded pokes either, right? Like stand jab, punch for Potemkin. It's a really solid anti-air, right? Like, so is 6P, sure, but like not everyone's always thinking about 6P. This is just quick, like pure reaction button, right? So now if we use that, a common setup is like do this, crouch slash into Mega Fist, bounce them with that, and just go from there. But now, so maybe not the most optimal example right there, right? But it's a good idea, and it's still half your life off a jab, right? So that's really good. That's really good. So basically, I know before the patch, just reading the notes without any context, I think a lot of people thought Potemkin was nerfed overall. And to be sure, like, lost a little damage off Mega Fist, lost a little damage off Garuda, but like, them's the breaks, right? But to make up for it, Giganter Kai became the best super move in the game. And gives them a lot more utility, a lot more damage. Like, once again, just the tech of Hammerfall canceling. It opens up so much more. It's great. And even old stuff like, okay, Mega Fist counter hit. Now instead of like you do it, land, PRC, do whatever combo. How about you just go right into aegis? Because now that's an option that's, available to you. So you get a lot more stuff to play around with. You don't necessarily have to do the same old. So overall, Potemkin, certain aspects, a little bit worse, and some of his buttons actually got a little better, so that's good too. But Aegis / Giganter Kai is just so much better. It's absolutely ridiculous. And that's why I wanted to dedicate a whole video to highlight it, because it's crazy. So that all said, my friends, now we are at the end of the video, and hopefully you're a bit more educated to Potemkin and what he can do in Season 2 of Strive. Not to mention a lot of other small things, like if you try to backdash Giganter in the corner now, it leaves you in a tumble state. and that tumble state can lead to some interesting possibilities now, so play around with that. But yeah, so that's Potemkin for now for Season 2. We'll probably do a few more highlight videos as well for other characters. And now this is the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Guilty Gear.